The track champions here this evening, and about 90 cars have registered to race for your enjoyment here this evening. Once again, if you need more information on next weekend's Bill Engelstead Labor Day Shootout, just go online to HibbingSpeedway.com. Well, coming into tonight in our Midwest Modified division, in the points, it is going to be Andy Davey, who comes in with a 19-point lead over Chris Magestad. Then 1 point back is Mikey Blevins, followed by Sam Blevins and Matt Cunha, the top five in points coming into this evening. And unlike in the past few years, the heat races actually do count for some points, so we'll see how Andy Davey does in the heat races, as well as Chris Magestad and the Blevins brothers, and that'll set up how we do and go in or how the points will end up as we will take a look at them right before the feature race and try and figure out what place Andy Davey will have to finish in, and if Chris Magestad or Mikey Blevins wins, we'll do some of the math for you. Still working a little moisture into the racetrack here this evening. If you are planning on coming next Saturday and Sunday, tickets just for information, $25 per day. Kids 12 and under, absolutely free. Gates will open the grandstand at 2 o'clock on both Saturday and Sunday. And if you want to camp over for the weekend, or if you want to get reserved parking for the weekend, more information is available online at HibbingSpeedway.com. Don't forget the invitational season kicks off with the Twin Port Twin 25s coming up on Wednesday night at Gondik Law Speedway. Two 25-lap late model feature races, including the Structural Buildings Late Model Challenge Series in town. Then Thursday night is the granddaddy of them all, the annual Silver 1000 going on at the Proctor Speedway. A week from Friday night will be the Wissota Classic at the Grand Rapids Speedway, and then the Bill Engelstead Labor Day Shootout next Saturday and Sunday right here at historic Hibbing Speedway. $11 modifieds are registered to race here this evening. And I told you about the Midwest modifieds. In the modified division, Tyler Kittner with a 29-point lead. So with 11 cars, pretty much if Tyler Kittner finishes his heat and starts the feature race, he will be the 2025 track champion. And that will just add to his load of track championships here at Hibbing Raceway. In fact, Tyler Kittner over the years has won 3 Superstock track championships, 3 Midwest modifieds. This would be his first ever modified track championship. So one of the only drivers that has won the track championship in 3 different classes. And if he comes back and wins again, which he's a young guy, probably will do it more in the future. I believe, I'd have to go back and look at the records, but I know some people have won 3 different track championships. I don't know if anyone has won multiple track championships in 3 different divisions. Changing things up a little bit, going with our modifieds first here tonight. Here's how we'll line them up when we do get going in that 12 car. On the inside of row number 1, racing out of Bovee, that will be TJ Heinley. Alongside of him, made the trip down, used to be a regular driver here in the late models and in the modifieds in that orange, black, and white 23 out of Thunder Bay, Ontario. That is John Topazzini. Row number 3, having another good year in that blue and white lethal chassis. That is Bob Broking out of Grand Rapids. Alongside of him, Jeff Wood in the red and white 55. Dawson Allen here from Fort Francis driving that 4A car. And Chris Magestead out of Floodwood in the black and orange 2A. So we'll give them one to go from the flag stand, and when they come out of turn number 4, we'll be racing on a championship Saturday night here at Hibbing Speedway. Hindley's in the 12. It is John Topazzini in the 23. Green flag out. Whole shot's going to go to the 12 of TJ Hindley. Right alongside him, the 23 of Topazzini, and now the 45 of Bob Broking. Broking to the inside, Hindley in the middle, 3 wide down the front stretch with Topazzini on the outside. Bob Broking, your new leader in the 45 car. Bob Broking on the season here at Hibbing Raceway or Hibbing Speedway. Two feature wins this year to go along with the 3 heat wins. Bob having a good year overall. Four features so far this year, 2 here in Hibbing, 1 in Grand Rapids, and 1 in Superior. And he's running away with this heat race. It is Hindley in second, followed by the 55 of Jeff Wood. John Topazzini in the 2 car. That is Chris Magestead. White flag out this time by for the 45 of Bob Broking. And checkers out for the 45 of Bob Broking. 4th heat win of 2025 for Bob Broking. Followed by TJ Hindley, Jeff Wood, John Topazzini, and Chris Magestead. 4th time picking up a heat win in the 45 car. Your winner from Grand Rapids will be Bob Broking. Broking followed by TJ Hindley, Jeff Wood, John Topazzini, and then we have the M2 of Chris Magestead. So Bob Broking winning heat race number 1 in our Wissota Modifieds on a championship Saturday night. Broking coming from the inside of row number 2 to win that race. Heat race number 2 as your current points leader, looking to become a winner, a track champion in 3 different divisions. He's done it in the Super Stocks. He's done it in the Midwest Modifieds. But so far, the Modifieds have eluded him. It's the 22 of Tyler Kittner. You see him out on the racetrack right now. Again, coming into tonight with a 29-point lead over Bob Broking, but Bob Broking getting the win in heat race number 1, waiting for a couple more cars. Maybe we're not going to get them. So only 3 cars out on the racetrack right now. That 8 car racing out of International Falls, that is Aaron Nelson. Alongside of him, moving up into the modifieds is Mervyn Castle III, and Tyler Kittner out there in the 22 looking for the Ford S car of Steve Stavanger and the 55W of Jeffrey Wood. And again, changing the lineup a little bit tonight. So usually our Midwest Modifieds go first. So maybe those guys didn't see that on the backboard, but they gave him one to go. It's going to be 3 cars, and they will go 8 laps in our heat race. 3 wide to start this one. Castle in the 10, the 22 of Tyler Kittner, and the 8 car of Aaron Nelson. And we're going to have to try this one again. And green flag comes out. We'll try it for the second time. Again, Castle and the 22 of Tyler Kittner. Kittner with a couple of feature wins so far this year. 3 heat wins here in Hibbing. He's got 2 features and a heat win over at the Grand Rapids Speedway. Kittner to the inside, that 22 car. And Kittner, your new leader. Kittner, Castle, and Nelson. And if Kittner hangs on here with just 11 cars and he winning a heat, even though Bob Broking won a heat, that will guarantee him the track championship for 2025. Kittner's lead sitting a little over a second over the 10 car of Mervyn Castle, and Aaron Nelson sitting in third. 2 to go for the 22 of Tyler Kittner. Kind of one of those weird weather days here in Hibbing in northern Minnesota, with rain would come in for a couple of minutes and then sunshine would be out. Hasn't rained here since early in the afternoon. Out of turn number 4, he will not only win the heat, he will take the track championship this year in the 22 car. Your winner will be Tyler Kittner. Well, picking up his 4th heat win, and with the heat win and only 11 cars, he will also be your 2025 track champion. In the 22 car, your winner will be Tyler Kittner. He was followed by the 10 of Mervyn Castle, the 3rd, and the 8 car of Aaron Nelson. So 4th heat win of the year for Tyler Kittner guarantees him a track championship. It is the 3rd division that he has won a track championship here. He's got multiple wins in the Super Stock, multiple in the Midwest Modified, and first here in a Modified for the 22 of Tyler Kittner. So Kittner joins Bob Broking as your heat winners in our Modifieds. Well, we do have a tighter race going on in the late model division, as coming into tonight, Johnny Broking with an 11-point lead over Jeff Massengill. Kyle Peterlin just 14 back, and still not out of the running is Skeeter Esty at 23 points back. Here's how we'll line them up for heat race 1 of 2 in your late models. Rick Nemi will be driving that 54. He'll get the pole on the inside of row 1. Alongside of him in the 23 car, that's Kyle Peterlin. Row 2 making the trip up here in the 34 will be Taylor Madrinich out of Duluth. Alongside of him in the 35, longtime racer out of Britt is George Ledeen. Multiple-time track champion in the 16. On the inside of row number 3, out of Hibbing, that is Derek Vessel. And alongside of him in the 12 car is Mark Heinley. Green flag out from our start-finish line. Nemi to the inside to win the whole shot in the race out of turn number 2. Peterlin right behind him, then George Ledeen. Lap 1 of 8 in the books here. Heat race 1 of 2 in your Wissota late models. Final regular season race of the season here at Hibbing Raceway. Hibbing Speedway. Amy on the season, a one heat win. It did come here at Hibbing Speedway back on June 27th. Been a while since Rick Niemi's been in the victory lane here at Hibbing Speedway. Last feature win coming back on May 21st of 2022. Continues to be Niemi, followed by Peterlin. Then we've got the 16 of Derek Vessel, the 34 of Taylor Madrinich, and the 12 of Mark Hindley. White flag out this time by for the 54 of Rick Niemi. Niemi's lead that lap at 1.3 seconds. And he will see the checkered flag for the second time this year in Hibbing. Niemi's going to win, followed by the 23 of Kyle Peterlin. Derek Vessel will take that third spot, followed by Ledeen, Madrinich, and Hindley. Second heat win of 2025 going out to the driver from Eveleth. He drives the 54 car. Your winner will be Rick Niemi. Niemi followed by the 23 of Kyle Peterlin. Then we saw the 16 of Derek Vessel. George Ledeen finishing in fourth, followed by Taylor Madrinich and Mark Hindley. Your top finishers in heat race number 1 of 2 in our WISSOTA late models. Well, there is your current points leader, Johnny Broking, with an 11-point lead over Jeff Massengill. Kyle Peterlin in third, Skeeter Esty in fourth. So lining them up on the inside of row number 1 will be your number 1 and number 2 in points. It'll be Jeff Massengill to the inside. He is 11 points behind the 45J of Johnny Broking coming into tonight. And on his outside will be the 45J of Johnny Broking. Row 2 will have the 13 of Roger Paulo and the 28 of Jeff Provenzino. Row 3 will have Kevin Burdick out of Proctor in the 30 car. And the 12, a guy who's picked up a couple of heat wins here lately in that 12X racing out of Beauvais, that will be Ben Hindley. A little bit of a breeze here tonight for the folks joining us on XR Plus and XR Events. Pretty much blowing straight from turns 3 and 4 towards turns 1 and 2. Again, 8 laps in our green flag is out. Johnny Broking, early leader down the backstretch. Jeff Massengill, and we're going to have to do that one again. So try it again. Massengill on the inside, and they're going to say Johnny Broking jumped the start, so he will go back a row. They'll have to work a little harder to get past the 6M of Jeff Massengill. Green flag out. Provenzino makes a run to the inside. Massengill will lead it. Roger Paulo in the 13. Here comes Kevin Burdick in that 30 car. Burdick going to push up and pass Roger Paulo. He's up into third, and going for the lead is the 28 of Jeff Provenzino. And Provenzino going to take it out of turn number 2. He gets ahead of Massengill. Provenzino, your leader. Massengill now sitting in second, followed by Burdick, and then the 45J of Johnny Broking. Jeff actually looking for his first win of the season here on his home track. Got a couple of heat wins down at Fiesta City in Montevideo. Got a heat win in Grand Rapids, one at Gondeglaw Speedway in Superior, one at Viking Speedway in Alexandria. Leads here over Massengill. Provenzino's lead a little over a second. Burdick sitting in third in the 30 car, then the 45J of Johnny Broking. White flag is out this time by for Jeff Provenzino. First heat win of 2025 going out to the driver of the 28 car. Your winner will be Jeff Provenzino. He was followed by the 6M of Jeff Massengill. Then we saw the 30 of Kevin Burdick and the 45 of Johnny Broking. So Massengill only really gaining a point on the 45J, actually 2 points on the 45J, so he'll have a 9-point lead. Johnny will going into the feature tonight. So heat winners, heat race number 1 going to Rick Nemi, heat race number 2 to the 28 of Jeff Provenzino. $13 super stocks here tonight. Our points championship in our super stocks going into tonight looks like this. Dalton Carlson with an 18-point lead over Doug Koski. And Koski will be on the front row here in heat race number 1. Mikey Vital just a little ways back. Chaston Finkbone in fourth, followed by Trevor Ahrens. And it will be the 76 of Doug Koski on the inside of row 1 alongside the 41 of Mikey Vital. So those guys in second and third. Row number 2 as Andy Labarge out of Hibbing in the 79A, and Trevor Ahrens out of Hibbing in the 01. Row 5, Kevin Saline out of Iron in that 11 car. He's alongside the guy who used to be a regular Saturday night runner here, now back from Thunder Bay in the 77 car. That is Rick Simpson, and your current points leader is sitting all the way in the back in that 57 car. So Carlson comes in with an 18-point lead. He's in the back. Doug Koski on the front row and Mikey Vital in the 41. They are second and third in points. They are on the front row. Koski in the white 76, the red and black 41 of Mikey Vital as the green flag comes out. First of 2, and our top 3 in points are in this first heat race. Carlson already up 1 spot as he gets past the 01 of Trevor Ahrens. Lap 1 is going to be led by the 76 car of Doug Koski. Vital second, followed by the 79A of Andy Labarge, the 77 of Simpson, and Simpson gets tangled up by the 11 car of Kevin Saline, and that'll bring out the yellow caution flag. Once again, next Saturday and Sunday, it is the Bill Engelstead Labor Day Shootout here at Hibbing Raceway, with pits opening at 1 o'clock both Saturday and Sundays. Grandstands opening up at 2 o'clock, with racing starting both days at 5 o'clock. So seats will be open, or the grandstand open at 2 o'clock both Saturday and Sunday, and racing will get underway at 5 both Saturday and Sunday at the Labor Day Shootout. Koski's going to go out front on this restart. Just one lap in, still 7 remain. Koski on the season picked up a feature win over at the Bemidji Speedway back on July 6th. There's a couple of heat wins here in Hibbing, one in Grand Rapids and one down at Montevideo at Fiesta City. Koski followed by the 41 of Vital, the 77 of Simpson, then the 57 of Dalton Carlson. Well, technically, if the race ended this way, and Dalton Carlson comes out for the feature race, he would be the points champion, because you would lose 3 points to Koski here. So it'd be a 15-point lead, but only 13 cars here this evening. So he could not make all of that up. Continues to be Koski, followed by the 41, Mikey Vital, as this one is over, and Doug Koski is going to pick up another heat win here in Hibbing. It'll be his third of the season, the third of the year for the 76 of Doug Koski. He was followed by the 41 of Mikey Vital. Then we saw the 77 of Rick Simpson, Dalton Carlson, followed by Andy Labarge, Kevin Saline, and Trevor Ahrens. Your top finishers. Well, it's going to be even a little tougher for Doug Koski, as he is going to get docked 2 spots for jumping the restart. So the win's going to go to the 41 of Mikey Vital, then Rick Simpson, and then Doug Koski. Here's how we'll line them up in heat race number 2. Well, Danny Duran out of Esco is on the inside of row one in that. Actually, he's going to go to the back. It will be Dan Severson in the 30 car. And we've got the 60 or the 47 of Justin Barsness, the 41X of Brian Vital, Tristan LaBarge out there in the 19, Chasten Finkbone in the 40, and Dan Duran is in that 5 car. Out to a big lead is a 19 car of Tristan LaBarge, 3-time defending track champion. Will not pick up a track championship here this year. LaBarge with a couple of feature wins, couple of heat wins here at Hibbing. Picked up a heat win down at the ABC Raceway in Ashland as he went down there for the Northland Superstock Series. 3 heat wins over in Grand Rapids to go along with a feature. LaBarge with a big lead, already 3.4 seconds as a checkered flag will come out. 3rd time this year in a heat race with a 19 car out of Kelly Lake of Tristan LaBarge. Third heat win of 2025 for the driver of the 19. Your winner will be Tristan LaBarge. LaBarge followed in that race by Dan Severson in the 30 car. Then we saw the 40C of Chasten Finkbone, the 47 of Justin Barsness, Brian Vital in the 41, and Danny Duran in the 5 car. Just doing some math there during that heat race. And with the 3rd place finish for Doug Koski, and the 4th place finish for Dalton Carlson. That gives Carlson an 18-point lead going into the feature, and with only 13 cars in the feature race, it will be Dalton Carlson will be your 2025 Superstock Track Champion here at Hibbing Raceway. So Midwest Mods out on the racetrack. Mentioned it a little bit earlier, but coming into tonight in our championship Saturday, Andy Davey with a 19-point lead over Chris Magistad. Mikey Blevins 20 points back, and Sam Blevins is 26 points back. Here's how we'll line them up in heat race number 1 of 2, actually 3 with 23 cars here. Eric Anderson in that 7A alongside the 76 of Keith Koski. Justin Basses in the 69 alongside the 15 of Sam Blevins. Alex Odell in the 12 alongside of Kobe Reed in the 89. Andy Davey in that 91 car. He's alongside the 10X of Matt Cunha. Early leader, the 7A of Eric Anderson. Right behind him, the 69 of Justin Bassa. Keith Koski in the 76. Here comes Andy Davey in that 91. Davey now up into 4th. Still battling, though, with the 12 car of Alex Odell. 2 to go for the 7A of Eric Anderson. Anderson only one heat win this year, came down at the Gondik Law Speedway in Superior, so looking for his first heat win of the year here in Hibbing, and he's got 1 lap to go. His lead about 1.2 seconds over the 69 of Justin Bassa. Andy Davey now trying to get past the 76 of Keith Koski, his brother-in-law, and he will finish in 3rd. So your winner, first heat win of the year for the 7A, your winner will be Eric Anderson, followed by Justin Bassa. Well, Andy Davey picking up 7 points with that 3rd place finish. So that'll put him at 356. Chris Magestad will be out in heat race number 3. Heat race number 2 is Eric Gruba in that 68 alongside the superstar Adam Shin. Row number 2 is the 18 of Dylan Miller and the 47 of Don Craig. Randy Haupt is in the 31 alongside of Mikey Blevins Jr., Austin McClellan in the 41, and Frank Paulo in the 13X. Yeah, gonna have to do this one again. Andy Davey won track championship in a pure stock. I thought he had won one in a super stock, but I'm not saying my records are 100% correct, but I do not have him in a super stock or a modified with the track championship, or that would have put him right with Tyler Kittner and Jay Kittner as the only drivers to win in 3 different classes. And I also had to look up, I knew he only raced one, maybe, I don't know, can't remember if it was 2 years, if Johnny Broking had won one in a pure stock, but he had not. So he is a late model and a modified track championship. Now look at this, the superstar Adam Shin, your leader. Dylan Miller right behind him. Adam Shin looking for his first win of 2025. Mikey Blevins sitting in that 3rd spot. The 41 of Austin McClellan has moved up into 4th, followed by the 31 of Randy Haupt. Mikey Blevins giving Dylan Miller a run for his money for 2nd and 3rd. Miller in the white 18 and Blevins in the blue, white, and yellow 10. So far it's been all the 14X of the superstar Adam Shin. White flag out for the 14 of Adam Shin. Into turn 3, he will come out of turn number 4, and he will pick up the win. First win of the season going out to the Superstar from Duluth. Your winner in the 14 car, that is Adam Shin. Shin followed by Mikey Blevins, and we saw the 18 of Dylan Miller, the 41 of Austin McClellan, and the 31 of Randy Haupt. And that may be the first heat win for the Superstar, as I don't have him, again, not saying my stuff is 100% correct, but we've watched the Superstar's career over the years in Proctor and Superior, and if it is, congratulations, Adam, picking up a win here in Hibbing. Third and final heat in our Midwest Modifieds. Michael Blevins Sr. out of Hibbing will be your pole sitter in that 10 car. Alongside of him from Bo V in the 22 will be Ethan Elhart. Brant Gruba driving the 14 out of Britt. Chad Van Duker alongside of him in the 22. Paul Ripley made the trip here from Duluth. He's in the 28 alongside the M2 of Chris Magestad. Magestad again coming into tonight in second place in our Midwest Modifieds, 19 points behind Chris Magestad, or 19 points behind Andy Davey. And then the 428 out there, that is Kevin Odell out of Chisholm. Once again, remember, no smoking in the grandstands here at Hibbing Speedway. No smoking in the grandstands. Michael Blevins in the 10 car. He'll lead us out on the inside of row number 1 in this third and final heat. Ethan Elhart alongside of him. Michael Blevins, 2 feature wins here on his home track in Hibbing. He's got 3 in Bemidji so far this year and 2 over at the Grand Rapids Speedway. He's going to lead lap 1. Nice start for the 28 car of Paul Ripley. And not a good night for the Ripley crew last night at Gondik Speedway in Superior. Had a couple of cars go off the track and up and over turns 1 and 2, and Ripley's pickup truck for his hauler was parked up over turns 1 and 2, and one of the cars ended up hitting that truck and doing damage. And Michael Blevins gets a little sideways, keeps the race green though, but it opens the door for the 28 of Paul Ripley. Ripley won heat win here at the Hibbing Raceway, came back on August 5th. Got 1 feature win over in Ashland this year, 1 at the Proctor Speedway. 2 to go for Paul Ripley. His lead sitting at 2.2 seconds over Michael Blevins, and Paul Ripley's going to get his second heat win of the season here at Hibbing Raceway. Well, he comes from row number 3 to pick up his second heat win of the year in the 28 car racing out of Duluth. Your winner will be Paul Ripley. Followed by the 10 of Michael Blevins. Then we saw Chad Van Duker, followed by Kevin Odell and Brant Gruba. Your top 5 finishers in heat race number 3 in our Midwest Modifieds. So after the heat races, Andy Davey gains 3 points on Chris Magestad. So that would give him a 22-point lead with 23 cars. So mathematically, it could happen, but more than likely, Andy Davey going to pick up a track championship here in the Midwest Modifieds if he comes out and completes a lap in the feature races. Northern Renegades are with us here this evening. We do appreciate them for coming out and joining us again this week at Hibbing Speedway. 14 of them out here racing. Heat race number 1 in that 57 car, 67, will be Chad Wolf out of Bemidji. Jory Hughes is here. He is driving the 11J. Ken Roan in the 46, former modified driver out of Grand Rapids. Travis Case out of Grand Rapids driving the 46. The Z15, that is Zach Olson out of Grand Rapids. Keith Erickson driving the 7E out of Duluth. And Josh Brayford out of Grand Rapids driving the 56. All right, got them all fired up and ready to go. Heat race 1 of 2 in the Northern Renegades here this evening. Green flag is out, and here we go. 3 wide into turns 1 and 2. Lap 1 leader. For the score sheet, it says the 67 of Chad Wolf. I believe that is the 46 of Case, but Ken Roan, a little different car, so it is Ken Roan, and he's going to slide up the track and gets a little high in turns 1 and 2, and we're going to have a new leader as they come down the front stretch. That is going to be the 11J car of Jory Hughes, former Midwest Modified driver. Of course, his dad, Rennie Hughes, a longtime racer. In fact, for many years, the Rennie Hughes Classic here at Hibbing. Ken Roan back into second in that 40. Now I see the H on that 46 car. Zach Olson right now sitting in third in that Z15. White flag out for the 11 of Jory Hughes. Half a lap to go. He's actually won his father's race here, and he will take a checkered flag. Jory Hughes going to win this one. Ken Roan second, followed by Zach Olson, Josh Brayford, and the 46 of Travis Case. Well, your winner, he's a former racer here in the Midwest Modifieds. We have had a race in the past for his dad in the 11J. Your winner will be Jory Hughes. Hughes followed by Ken Roan in that 46H. Then we saw Zach Olson in the 15, Josh Brayford in the 56, and Travis Case driving the 46C. One more to go in our Northern Renegade non-wing sprints. Once again, remember, both the front and back open for the concession stand underneath the main grandstand. As we've got intermission coming up here in just a couple of races. We do appreciate all of you coming out and joining us here on the final regular season night of 2025 here at historic Hibbing Speedway. And again, next Saturday and Sunday, it is the annual Bill Engelstead Labor Day Shootout here at Hibbing Speedway. Grandstands open at 2, racing at 5 o'clock both days, next Saturday and Sunday here in Hibbing. Invitational season kicks off this week. Twin Port Twin 25s Wednesday night, Gondik Law Speedway in Superior. And then Thursday night, it is the Silver 1000 at the Proctor Speedway, the Wissota Classic Friday night in Grand Rapids, and then back here Saturday and Sunday for the Labor Day Shootout. Paul Schultz out there in the 101 car. He picked up a win on Thursday night over in Grand Rapids. Another longtime modified racer here in the Northland. Drives that familiar orange 101, just like his modified car. Well, Casey Hawkinson in the 46 alongside of Mariah Lepetka. On your front row, Tyler Wass in the 36 and Jesse Greif in the 11. That makes up row number 2. Row 3 is the familiar Joker, the 5J of Chris Lewis alongside the 101, that orange car. That's Paul Schultz and Danny Wade Jr. having a good year in the Northern Renegades as well in that 92. And it looks like we're going to have to try this one again. Green flag coming out. 8 laps in our heat races here in our Northern Renegade non-wing sprints. couple cars around over in turns 3 and 4. Paul Schultz, one of them. So Paul Schultz in the 101 and Danny Waite Jr. The two cars involved over in turns 3 and 4. And the yellow caution flag is still out with Danny Waite Jr. coming to a stop on the back stretch. So Wade started in the back. He'll go back to the back. Let's try this again. Green flag back out. Three wide coming out of turn number 2 and down the back stretch. Still bunched up there in the middle of the pack. Lap 1 leader is going to be the 11 of Jesse Greif. Casey Hawkinson in second. Mariah Lepatka in third. Lepatka in that aqua and pink car on the inside. Casey Hawkinson in the red, white, and black car. And here comes the Joker, Chris Lewis, on the outside in that 5J car. Lepatka makes a move down the backstretch. Now Paul Schultz gets up into Casey Hawkinson. And Hawkinson going to go around in turn 3. So Casey Hawkinson going around in that 46 car. May have gotten a little help from the orange 101. So watch out for one of the winningest drivers, obviously, in this area in the Northern Renegades, the 5J of Chris Lewis, the car with the big Joker on the side. He is already up into third. So Greif, Lepatka, then it'll be Chris Lewis, followed by the 101 of Paul Schultz, your top runners. Then the 11, but then the Chris Lewis gets past Lepatka, so does the 101 of Paul Schultz. Here comes the Joker on the outside in the 5J. Jesse Greif continues to lead. Chris Lewis right behind him, though. Then it is Paul Schultz, followed by Mariah Lepatka. Thank you. 2 to go for Jesse Greif in the 11 car. Lewis hanging on to second, followed by the 101 of Paul Schultz. Schultz going to pull up alongside Lewis in turns 3 and 4 with 1 to go. And Paul Schultz going to get past the 5J of Chris Lewis. Something's going on, I think, with the 5J. He keeps going back, and now Lepatka is going to pass him up into third. Checkered flag will be out in the meantime for the 11 car of Jesse Greif. Schultz going to take second, followed by Mariah Lepatka, then the 5J of Chris Lewis, and that'll be the 92 of Danny Waite Jr. Well, your winner in heat race number 2 calls Grand Rapids home in the 11 car. It'll be Jesse Greif. Greif followed by Paul Schultz, then Mariah Lepatka, Chris Lewis, and Danny Waite Jr. Your top 5. One more class to go. Coming into tonight, Brady Faso with a 26-point lead and with only 15 cars here. Hey, Matt, how you doing? Thank you, sir. So a 26-point lead with 15 cars here. That means that Brady Faso will be your 2025 Hornet track champion. Heat number 1 will have Zeb Graves in that 31 alongside of Riley Terry in the R20. Jada Lohr, last year's track champion, on the inside of row number 2 alongside the 74 of Jacob Petrich. Brady Faso, your track champion, on the inside of row 3 alongside the 9 of Nick Ruzich. Chris Manska in the 78 alongside Paige Kittner in the 22. First of 2 in our Hornets. Well, Brady Faso, who is our track champion here, has been racing all over and having a very good year. In fact, he's got 3 feature wins over in Grand Rapids. He's got 1 at Ogilvie, 2 in Bemidji so far this year. He's not picked up a feature win here in Hibbing. Lap 1 going to go to the 31 of Zeb Graves. But here comes a 27 of Faso. Faso to the outside of the R20 of Terry, and Faso into second. Jada Lohr to the inside of Terry now. 3 wide for that 3rd, 4th, and 5th spot. Jada Lohr in the 24, Terry in the 20, and the 71, or 78, I'm sorry, of Manska. Well, Brady Faso trying to pick up his 2nd heat win of the year here in Hibbing as he's trying to reel in the 31 of Zeb Graves. He moves to the outside halfway through this one. Faso in the 27 and the 31 of Zeb Graves. 2 to go. Mayan knows it's the 31 of Graves. Jada Lohr right behind him. Also the 78 of Chris Manska and the 78, then the R20 car of Riley Terry. Those are your top 5. White flag out this time by, and now the new leader is the 27 of Brady Faso. Actually, it is the 74 of Jacob Petrich up in that 4th spot. As the checkered flag will come out for the 27 of Brady Faso. Second heat win of the year, and he had already pretty much won it before the race started. He will also be your 2025 Hornet Track Champion and your heat winner in the 27 car. Your winner is Brady Faso. He was followed by the 31 of Zeb Graves. Then we saw the 24 JR of Jada Lohr, the 74 of Jacob Petrich. Then we had the R20 car of Riley Terry rounding out your top 5. One more heat to go here in your Hornet division. Here's how we'll line them up on the inside of row number 1 in that 25K is McKenna Folstead. Alongside of her is Ian Van Vickel in the 188. It is Tiffany Howda Sanders in the 21 alongside Brian Barker. In row number 2, row number 3 has Riker Larson in the 81 and Michaela Labarge in the 79 JR and Mark Gangle out of Beauvais in the 34. Green flag out, second and final heat race in our Hornets. And we're going to have to try this one again. Green flag back out, and we're going to go 4 wide for the lead into turn 1. Riker Larson comes out of there as a leader, but again, 3 wide behind him. Mark Gangle on the inside, Ian Van Vickel in the middle, and the 25K of McKenna Folstead. Ian Van Vickel in the 188. That's a silver car. Alongside the 81, that is Riker Larson. The 34 of Mark Gangle, the 25K of McKenna Folstead, then the 79A of Michaela Labarge. Van Vickel to the lead now. Ian Van Vickel, then we've got Mark Gangle in the 34 as the white flag is out. McKenna Folstead in the 25K in a battle with the 81 of Riker Larson, and right behind them the 79 of Michaela Labarge. And taking the checkered flag will be the 188 of Ian Van Vickel. Well, your winner driving that 188 car out of Hibbing will be Ian Van Vickel. He was followed by Mark Gangle. Then we saw McKenna Folstead, the 81 of Riker Larson, and the 79A of Michaela Labarge. So Brady Faso winning heat race number 1, Ian Van Vickel heat race number 2 in your Hornets. Well, that is going to do it for the heat race portion of the program tonight. A chance for you to head down to the concession stands and to the restrooms. Remember, both the sides open on the concession stands underneath the main grandstand. Once again, next Saturday and Sunday, it is the Bill Engelstad Labor Day Shootout here Saturday and Sunday. The grandstands open at 2 o'clock with racing at 5 o'clock both days next Saturday and Sunday.
A special thanks to the 2025 sponsors of Hibbing Speedway. Bulletproof Tees, Dark Lake Metalworks.